All right, for segment 2, Heathen Dog is going to kill us all. I mean, he is going to talk about death in space. And this is a game, I don't know if I'm happy or disappointed that he's covering because, and I say that because starting next week, I'm going to be diving into a lot of Free League games. Well, this is a Free League game, but it's not the Year Zero engine. I will be covering Year Zero engine games. But he picked Death in Space to cover this week, a game I have not read through, so I'm really looking forward to what he has to say about this, and one I am incredibly interested in conceptually. It's written by, who makes it? Stockholm Consortium or whatever it's called? That's the actual developer of it, because Free League publishes it. But yeah, they also do Morkborg, which I'm not a fan of, and I think they also do they do Cyborg also? I think so.
I don't know.
Again, I'm not a fan of those two games, so I'm hoping it's not exactly like how those games are. But Heathen Dog's going to let us know. And before we get into that, here, let us tell you that we believe that role-playing games should take place in fantastic worlds or in outer space, and space is trying to kill you. Focus of the game should be on role-playing and keeping your breath. Core values of #RPGate and any good tabletop group are escapism, not representation, entertainment over activism, and natural, organic inclusion, not forced diversity or the vacuum of space. There's a theme for this segment, by the way.
Yeah.
The charity we support is the Wounded Warrior Project, a national nonpartisan organization whose mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors and to help them breathe with oxygen suits in space. Please refer to the description below for the link to where you can make your hopefully tax-deductible donation. Thursday and Saturday evenings on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth. Watch Heathen Dog and his team of dirty casuals try not to die in space for your mockery and enjoyment. And here on the YouTube channel, you can watch these game-related segments live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time. Or check out the Friday Night Chill stream where our panel of guests opine, comment, and editorialize on the TTRPG hobby as a whole. I'll just throw it on the screen. I'm not going to read it. And subscribe. Boom. All right, Heathen Dog.
All right.
Tell me the good, because there's only good about this game, right?
There's only good about this game. Okay. Death in Space is a game based in the far-flung future. Not as far as you might think, because the universe is collapsing and dying. And you, as one of the last civilizations left around, have to scrounge what's left to survive as long as you can. That's the basic theme of this game. Nothing new is here. Everything is repaired. Everything is retrofitted. Everything is modified. It's barely working. It's not pretty. If you're thinking Star Trek, think again. You're thinking Millennium Falcon is like, wow, when did that come off the assembly line? Yesterday? That's the kind of gear you're looking at in Death in Space. So what we're going to start with is the background. How did we get here? How did we get to, oh my God, the universe is dying? Well, let's find out. To do that, we are going to get to...
I don't believe the universe can die.
Well, yeah, of course, no one believes the universe can die until it does.
There you go.
And where is my page thing? Oh, there we go. Front cover. I don't want front cover. I want page 5. There we go.
I don't think I've ever seen it say a word like that before.
Collapsing universe. A vast blackness of space is collapsing in a slow grind towards eternal nothingness. Wow, that's a great first sentence. that's the tone, baby. Heralding the collapse is the void, a strange presence that infects and corrupts. So say the navigators, workers who travel further into the uncharted space than anyone else as they return with stories from faraway systems. Some navies claim to have seen strange creatures out of their behemoths drifting from the edge of cosmos, whatever, seeking shelter.
I got to ask you a question already, because it's what I thought this game was only in the Earth solar system. So this actually goes outside.
It is only not in the Earth solar system.
Oh,
don't worry. We're going to get to that.
Okay. Oh, that's good news.
Yeah. Scientists, of course, reject such claims, calling them tales and nightmares. Dude, the universe is collapsing. Why are you rejecting stuff? Yet, even among them, there are some who assert that the universe has stopped expanding. Instead, they say it is now compressing at an accelerated rate towards the inevitable crushing crunch.
This every one of these paragraphs ends in such a positive sentence.
I know,
right? Let's do this.
Crazy good. Yeah. Okay. Now, the whole idea of this game is that people are slow to come to the comprehension that what they thought of how the universe fundamentally works is now wrong. There's no
Oh,
proof. There's no scientific proof why it's wrong, but it still is. When this game was made in 2021, we now have a greater understanding of what the universe is going to do in the future. 30, 40 years ago, we thought the universe was expanding and contracting. That was the hypothesis that had the most clout, where there was a big bang, universe expansion, and then one day the universe will collapse and create another big bang.
stupid dark energy and dark matter had to get
Yeah.
involved. Jerks.
Yeah. Now the competing hypothesis is that the universe is ever expanding, will never ever contract, and the universe will die through heat death. Everything will just eventually, in trillions and trillions of years, just dissolve away, and there will be left nothing. Even protons will decay into nothingness. Now, the science still supports that in this world, but for some reason, the universe is now contracting.
Woo!
And since scientists can't say why, a lot of them will just fight against the idea rather than accept the fact that this is happening. So that's what happened.
Universe gave up. He's like, you know what? You guys screwed this up. We're gonna start over again. Let's do this.
Okay. Now there is a background about the gem war. There was a mineral found on a specific planet in the universe that we're going to be based in that system. That's where the characters start. That opened up the really high tech innovations and inventions. And of course, there was a war for it because it's only found on one planet, and the miners were getting rich, and everyone was trying to get them and keep them from other people and stuff like that. So war broke out, and it basically ruined both sides. All the gems are basically now gone, and technological advancement has stagnated to the point of almost nothingness. It's not advancing at all at any appreciable rate. So everything you have is used. Everything you have is refurbished. Everything you have is second, third, fourth, fifth hand.
I think it's just people being lazy.
Could be just people being lazy. And this, after the war, central governments either fell or became weakened to the point where they're ineffectual. And it's survival of the fittest. If you're strong enough, if you're smart enough, you will survive and thrive. If you are not, well, you will die in the coldness and darkness of space.
Which is why the game is called
Death in Space. Makes perfect sense to me, right? All right. And weird things have started to happen. Weird things called void complications, or just void things, or just the void. When the universe seems to be not only contracting but breaking down. Things that shouldn't exist in the universe are being found in it, and are affecting things in the natural universe, decaying them or mutating them in ways that cannot be explained, but are in fact happening. We're going to get to that in a little while, but these things do exist. These things do have an effect, and you can be a victim of it, of this void corruption.
Magic in this universe.
Not magic, void corruption. Well, you can consider it magic because it can't be explained scientifically. It shouldn't exist with the physical laws of our universe, and yet it does. Is that magic? It depends on your definition. Okay, fine. Then we move on. Go. Oh yeah, here's a little blurb here. Civilization is at its end. Slowly but steadily, the universe contracts toward an inescapable end. The void between the stars whispers strange and portentous phrases to the unlucky. This is a game about the hardworking explorers and laborers in this universe and the jobs they take to survive in a war-torn stellar system where anarchy spreads and resources are scarce. Without a good aim and a tech-savvy mind, they will quickly meet their death in space. This is the basic point of the game. It is a survival game. Survive as long as you can. Survive as well as you can. If you can help people along the way, fine. If you can take advantage of them to help yourself, also fine. Because as long as you survive, you're winning. You're not winning when you're dead. That's it. That's it. In this book, you will find the rules and tools you need to play the game. Of course you will. First are the rules for creating a crew of player characters and their hub. And that's what we're going to get into in the next segment. We are going to get into what makes a character. But still, I want you to understand this game. I want your players to understand the basic premise of this game. How it was written is that there is no winner. And a lot of people are going to get weird about that. A lot of people are going to feel ways about this thing. But if you think about every other role-playing game out there, there's no winner there either. They're just, you get old and retire, you die, or you stop playing. You can do the same thing with Death in Space. No one said the universe was collapsing tomorrow. The universe was huge. Now it's shrinking. Well, for trillions of years, it was expanding. How long is it going to take to shrink? At what point are we in the process? It's up to the game
reminds
master.
Me of?
What's that?
Reminds me of Earth Dawn. Drake.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, if you think about it, with the kind of the post-apocalyptic thing, they can't explain why magic is no longer fading
Waning.
and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah. So at what point in the process are you? Are you at the last days of the universe where the universe has shrank so much you can see the edge? Or are you at the point where it just started and you're still, hundreds of thousands, millions of years away from this inevitable thing? Well, you're not going to live that long anyway. So for you, it's just a regular game, right? It all depends on what the game master does. But the game was made to have that existential dread there. That why have children type dread.
That's a good point. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it really matter anyway? Do I want to bring them into this universe?
Exactly. Now, you exist in the Iron Ring. This is a ring around a planet, and I don't have the planet name here. I should have had the planet name.
Is it Tenebris?
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Where the gems were found. All right. Now the gems are 99.99999% mined out. There is no cost benefit for a big mining operation anymore. But all of the ships that were in orbit were cobbled together, dismantled, and reconstructed to form an artificial ring around the planet.
Oh, okay. See, that's what I was misunderstanding. See, I thought it was a space station floating around Earth, but okay,
well, it is now. It's a space station now, but not around Earth. Around this once highly profitable mining planet.
Okay, now I'm starting to understand the game a little better. I should have read it.
There you go. And there are as many different communities as there are now stars in the sky. Maybe there's less, but hey,
how big is it
now too? What's that?
How big is it?
Well, think of it. It is a ring that goes completely around the circumference of the planet, multiplied by 2 or 3 because it's outside in orbit, right?
Okay.
And even if it's only 50 yards in diameter and 50 yards high, it's still going to be a massive amount of area. Massive amount of area. But the thing is, the exact dimensions are up to the game master.
Okay.
All right. Some areas of the ring are in good working order. They've been maintained, repaired. Other areas of the ring are abandoned and barely habitable or not habitable at all. Mm-hmm. You, as the player character, are tugged into this system with your barely functional spaceship or barely functional space station, and you immediately start off with debt. You are in debt for docking fees and tow fees to get here to the Iron Ring. Now, again, this starts you off in a negative position. The universe is dying and I owe $100. Damn it. The game starts you off with the players at their lowest point. You have no friends.
So obviously,
you have no money.
The goal is to dig yourself out of that and become the heroes of the galaxy, right?
Yes. The goal is to dig yourself out and survive.
Oh, not
That's
Heroes
the
of the
goal. Hey,
Galaxy?
if survival for you equals I now run the ring, okay, shoot for that. Fine. Great. But you start off this game in the hole.
Okay.
All right. So that is basically the background of Death in Space. Now, in the next section, we're going to get into character generation, what that hub is, your space station or your spacecraft you came here with, what how to use that, stuff like that, and then the general rules. And I'll even give an example combat because it's incredibly easy. The rules here are very simple, easy to understand, easy to implement, and it makes this game easy to play because if you sit back and think about it, that's what makes this game hard to play. The existential terror is a little hard to bear if you really ponder too much about it. So they decided to make the rules pretty easy.
I know you're going to talk about like campaign and so forth ideas later, but what is the general premise? What is, so you've already laid out that there's no hope, or theoretically no hope.
Theoretically, no hope. Yes.
So what is the premise of the game? What is the purpose of the characters playing this game, generally speaking? Again, Game Master can do what a Game Master wants to, but
Right.
generally speaking, what is the premise of the game?
When you create your character, which I'm going to get into in the next segment, you have to decide what is winning for you. Each character is going to be different. What is survival that's worth it entail for you? Strive to do that. If survival for you is to have a harem of beautiful women and be debaucherous until the lights go out, then that's winning for you. That is you happily surviving. If it's repairing your ship and being able to have the freedom to go between the last few inhabitable systems whenever you want to, if that's you winning, do that. Everyone has to have a goal, or you might as well put a bullet in your brain.
Okay. Crafty says, I can't reach it and I don't want to roll all the way back. Starship Warden. Oh, actually, I think I started. Hold on. Let's go to the started comments. Yeah, I did start. Now, this game would be awesome to run Starship Warden with. Warden is slowly decaying as it floats through space. The scenario matches up to the brilliant. Matches up brilliantly with the game's theme. Yes, I would say that Starship Warden would be awesome. I don't know the rules of this game well enough. Again, Heathen Dog's introducing. I know that. I understand the overall 1 million foot view concept of the game. I didn't even have the planet right. I seriously thought it was like the expanse inside our solar system. So he already educated me on that one. But ultimately, yeah, the Starship Warden, which is that thick of a book, if you guys have it, you know it, would be great for a game like this. I would probably do that. So agree with Crafty 100% on that. Conolder Stord says, yes, a game I can play to lose. I know that's kind of your thought a little bit too. That's why I started that one.
But like I said, I mean, every other role-playing game, you don't play to the end of the universe, right? Well, this one you have the option to do that, but again, you don't have to. It'll end up being just like any other role-playing game. It's just the backdrop is significantly less joyful.
See, I'll tell you, that interests me. I wouldn't want to do it for the rest of my life or whatever, but I'd love to play a game like this for like a year or two. Depending on how often we played, just that whole thing. How long can we hold on? We know that space, like theoretically, we could die next adventure or next session. But if we live, that's the win. I like things like that. And Baldahar says, tell me more. Well, he's going to in the next segment, Baldahar. Right. All right. So any final words for segment or this first part of segment 2?
No, well, I'm gonna when I speak of character creation, your hub and general stuff like that, all this background will be crystallized into, oh, I get it, because you have to be in the perspective of your character to really understand how to move forward.
Okay.
And we're gonna get to that.